Yay, it's working. Ladies and gentlemen, episode 3 of Walking with Writers. My lovely co-host, Michael Smith. Say hi, Michael. Michael, say hi. It kicked him out. Oh, no. Ah, why? Okay, let's try this again.
Okay.
Are you there?
Yep.
All right, cool. Say hi, Michael.
Hello.
All right, good. So, Walking with Writers, episode 3. I'm J.M. Banks. Introduce yourself, buddy.
I am Michael Smith.
Not Michael W. Smith, to be confused with the religious singer.
Right, no, not the gospel singer, no.
Yeah, I think we did that last time, too. I gotta stop making that joke. It's really funny to only me. So, kind of today's show is leading up as a prep for tomorrow's show. We're going to talk a little bit about the writer's strike, kind of what it means for us, what are some options, what are some pivots, what are pain points, why is it important, and doing things like unpacking ChatGPT. Have you used it yet, Michael?
No, not yet. Have you?
Yes, I have used it several times. It is a fantastic tool that helps you accomplish writing things when you have some mundane or like busy work in something you need to flesh out, but it cannot create at a high level.
Okay.
At least that I've seen. But I've only used it casually, and I didn't use it to write a script.
And you just downloaded it onto your PC?
Yeah, you can do PC or you can do it on a mobile device. You can do it on your phone.
And how is it just to, navigate?
It's easy to navigate, but it's hard to use. I did the one that was the visual, not ChatGPT, but the other GPT that was the other AI where you could do digital images.
Okay.
That was much more difficult. ChatGPT was very easy. Was very, very easy. Basically, what the other thing does, what both of them do, is they take composites of everything that they've seen all over the internet, and they smash them together. Okay, everybody, so this is one of the things that happens. When you're walking, you're out and about, life happens. So things like food. I'm about to go into Wendy's, and you're going to listen to me order some food. So, Michael, you're going to need to carry the conversation and talk about a little bit of what does the writer's strike mean to you, and do you think it's a good or bad thing? Just kind of give us your opinion.
The last one, I think they said lasted for like 100 days, I believe, which at the time felt a lot longer. And that's like during the era of Heroes and all that, one of my favorite shows at that time. I'm just wondering if these studios really want to risk relying on the content that they have to maybe up to a year, all for the sake of profit, when, it's still the human mind that is coming up and conceptualizing, these IPs that you so cherish and that you so, basically want to bleed dry.
That's a good point, Michael. Can I get a number 5?
Nobody gives a fuck, you fucking fuck.
The meal, and then add the sandwich from the number 4, the classic chicken sandwich.
Extra pickles.
No. I want both. So I want the meal for the classic. Number 4, just a sandwich. Or the meal for the number 5. So the grilled chicken ranch meal. So that's a number 5, and then the classic chicken sandwich, and added to it. Medium.
Well, I mean, you're not ordering too bad there.
Huh? Oh, they have a ghost pepper ranch sandwich that I really want to get, but I got to see how my stomach handles this other crap. Okay, make your last point again. I'm sorry, buddy.
No, just saying it's the writers, they built the skeletons on which these IPs, become
Yeah.
these massive hits, man. Without them, even having the benefit of AI, it's still going to capture uh, that nuance that goes into each script, that human nuance that,
Agreed.
can really accentuate a theme or motif. It can, like you said, we were talking the other day, it can maybe polish up maybe your little skeletal framework you got going, maybe put you on the right path, but it's still not able to convey an idea in the human sense, something that would connect to another person.
Yeah, look at shows that have incredible dialogue, like Glengarry Glen Ross, or In Bruges, even, where you
Right.
have all of this really dynamic, fun dialogue, and
I'd even say someone like a Tarantino. Like, I don't see an AI being able to
Tarantino,
replicate those conversations because
there's no way.
that's like a hill on which, that's the foundation of pretty much, and it's a reoccurring thing of all his movies. He loves to have conversations. His characters
DiCaprio's
talk.
speech at Candyland at the end of Django, or
Yeah.
in the third act of Django. No way.
Yeah.
Conversation between when Tarantino himself is talking to the two guys who blow the dude's head off in oh my god, that super famous movie he did.
Which one?
Thank you. The one with the dancing, Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction?
Yeah, when Jules and the other guy shoot the dude in the kid in
Oh,
the back.
Marvin.
Yeah, and they go to Tarantino's house and he helps them clean it up.
Yeah, his whole little soliloquy from there, he just goes in, right?
Right, they do, like he's chewing them out, and they're having this organic conversation. There's just no way that this.
There's no way to program a computer or program to do that or give you that, I would say.
Yeah, 100%. Like that's not.
Like, I'd be interested to give it like a Tarantino-esque type premise and see what it comes up with. It probably would be, at best, some fourth grade level version of what he actually does.
Yeah, 100%. Like it's. I don't think you can get. I'd be really hard pressed to say that you can get that kind of thing out of ChatGPT. The thing is that that's not who's at risk. Procedural shows like all the Law and Order stuff. So from my understanding, what happened is when this first came out, writers started using it as a tool. Producers got wind of it and started seeing how much time it was saving the writers, so they cut their writers' rooms in half or more.
Mm.
And so from the feedback I've gotten from other people about what is really going on is the writers union is basically saying, yo, you because you're kicking all of these young kids out of the writers room and just using ChatGPT to do what we would normally have them do, and then the experienced writers polish it. They said, we're not able to teach this next generation of writers how to do what we do. Because writers' rooms are really classrooms for the next generation of showrunners.
Right.
And they're saying they're going to shoot themselves in the foot by doing that.
And I just don't see. Another point, too, is just the whole not valuing the writer's room in general.
Yeah.
And not valuing the livelihood that they need, in order to keep working. I'm hearing more and more as, you dive deep into, why the strike even came about. You seeing that writers are not even living anywhere close to, what a producer or, anybody higher up is making. These guys are still pretty much leading regular lives while, writing, multi-million dollar shows.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, they're struggling or living paycheck to paycheck or, not receiving residuals. It's kind of like, it's a scary thing to be enlightened by, because here you are, a person trying to aspire to get into this industry, and you feel that, whoa, or see rather, that it's just almost like another corporate scam to a degree. But you're being sold this dream. And
Dude,
you like, all it is, it ends up being another, money making scam to a degree where, everybody above a certain pay grade is just worried about lining their pockets and, dishing out crumbs to everybody else.
which is the funny thing about it is that the showrunners on a television show are writers.
Right.
They're basically the senior most writers, in that the writing of the show was their idea. The whole thing is their idea. The series Bible is usually put together by the showrunner.
Right.
A series Bible, for those of you that don't know, what that really is it's a blueprint for the creative elements in the show. It can also have technical elements in it, like I have the creative Bible for Battle. Was that a chicken?
Say it again?
Was that a chicken?
No.
It sounded like you stepped on a chicken. I don't know what that was, but considering that I'm eating and you're stepping on chickens, you chicken picker.
Stepping on chickens.
Yeah, that's a whole nother podcast. The stepping on chickens. Michael W. Smith, the singer, steps on chickens.
The chicken. I wonder how could you even talk an hour and a half about stepping on chickens? Like, what were they?
I've got a tie-in. So, the video game Fable has a thing that you can do where you can kick a chicken.
Kick it?
And you can punt these chickens in the game, and if you do it too many times, you get the moniker, or you get known as in the community as Chicken Chaser or Chicken Kicker.
Chicken chaser.
Chicken Kicker. I think one of the early versions of The Legend of Zelda had that element in it too.
I just remember breaking a lot of pots in Zelda, trying to find rupees.
And rupees. The series Bible that I have from Battlestar Galactica, which is a science fiction show, and it's not the one that was in the 70s or 80s, it's the one that came out in the early 2000s. The one that launched Katie Sackhoff's career, and
the one that has this huge cult following now.
Yeah, a huge cult following now. I have the show Bible from that, which is great. One of the things that it talks about is it gets into a description of the ships, how the ships are built, of the uniforms, of the weapons, and how the weapons work. How space travel works. It unpacks the science behind everything. One of the things that I need to do is put together a series Bible for 2084. Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody tripped over a gong.
To it out loud, but oh my God. The things that just happened right when you said that. I want to laugh so hard I'm going to cry, but I won't. I have to say, I'm really glad that we're not live.
Right.
We can talk about chicken chasers all day.
Oh, that's funny.
So one of the things that is important to remember is that a series Bible, for instance, ChatGPT could populate elements of it, but what those elements are, you know what, that's the next thing I'm going to do. I'm going to go home and I'm going to ask ChatGPT to create the series Bible for 2084.
Okay, you know what? I would definitely like to see like what it does on its own. Like, how does it know who the main characters are, the themes, what you're going for as a plot, all that. I would definitely like to see what it does once you like, because I'm assuming you have to input like specific commands in order for it to accomplish a certain task.
Yeah, but I would say create a series Bible for a futuristic dystopian cyberpunk show.
Oh, okay. So just give it a description.
Right. And then, create a television series Bible based off of this, and then I would take it and modify it to match 2084.
Okay, and then you can revise it how you see fit. Yeah.
Right. And that's really what ChatGPT is for.
Now, what is studio execs thinking they can do with it?
Well, now take that same paradigm, and this is what we just unpacked. So, if you have 20 writers in a writer's room, you have 5 senior writers, some mid-level writers, and then you have new writers. The new writers are going to do all the busy work. Fill out this scene. They're going to give it a skeleton and write the episode. And then the experienced writers are basically going to spend the rest of the time redlining the whole thing. They take it to the senior most writers who are going to redline the red line, and you'll sit in the room and go back and forth on changing scenes. No.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so there's a show that actually shows a writer's room. And it's one of the greatest things I've ever seen because it has young, multi-ethnicity, queer kids that are writers in the same room with a bunch of old Jewish and black writers.
Man, now that's an interesting combo. I just like to see what they write together,
Dude,
just on a
Mary and I were
collaborative kick.
watching and we were like, this is the greatest show ever made. This is amazing. And then it got canceled. Yeah, so basically...
I could make a whole podcast about great shows that have gotten canceled. Man, yes.
Well, here's the other thing. And this is to our topic today. I gotta take a drink. Hold on. The business model is different. And that show that got canceled came back. I'll find the name of it and I'll put it, I'll probably put it in the episode description, some of the stuff I'm talking about, links to ChatGPT and some other things. And then, Michael, I will send that show to you and you should absolutely watch it. It actually got picked back up.
Do you remember the premise?
Yeah, I'll tell you, I'll unpack the story. I have to remember the name of it.
Okay.
Basically, this girl who's an assistant is pitching her show, and she's a writer, and eventually she gets her own show. But she only gets her own show because this one producer helps walk her in somewhere and is like her person. Well, the person that they walk her into at the studio says you need to have a more senior writer on the show. Her dad is a known producer, known showrunner, who made an entire sitcom based off of her life. She's redoing the sitcom, but from her perspective, using real characters. That's a better example.
Yeah. Okay. So okay. I see it.
Yeah, Silver Spoons. You remember that show?
Mm-hmm.
Ricky Schroeder. Okay.
Yep. And Alfonso Ribeiro. Yeah.
Yeah. So imagine the real Ricky Schroeder came back and said, "Fuck this. This isn't. My life wasn't a comedy. It was terrible," and made a serious, like, Breaking Bad version of that show.
And like, this is how the shit went down.
Right. Yeah. And so in the middle of this, all of a sudden, the studio executive does some shenanigans and now makes her dad be the co-showrunner and fires the other producer. So now she has to remake this show with her dad, who she's estranged from.
Man.
Yeah, and then they populate the writer's room, but half of them are her young liberal, and she's a lesbian, so she's got all of her progressive queer friends, and the dad is this old straight, womanizing Jew. But he's played by Paul Reiser brilliantly. Paul Reiser was in the Mad About You show with Helen Hunt.
Yeah, man. You bringing back an old school lineup of TV, man.
Yeah, I fucking love TV. So
yeah,
it gets this show. You get these writers' rooms that are basically at war, and you see them start. There's a lot of name calling at first, and you're just a misogynist, and you're just this, and why do you have pink hair? Because some of the writers are like 107.
right. These guys are relics.
Right. But there's an old Jewish woman on the other side who's one of the old people. And the conversations that happen once they get past the initial bullshit is extremely important. Like, everybody needs to see that.
Man.
Because it shows young and old coming together, and it shows people who are very different finding common ground. And there's give and take on both sides, and they end up laughing at, and the old writers are swearing and being crass and saying racist and sexist and homophobic things. And the young writers are just serious as a heart attack about everything. And the old writers are getting the young writers to chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
And there's this balance that happens. And it's really, really powerful in the show. You think it's going to get canceled, and then it gets brought back, and like the ratings are good, and there's all the drama of the showrunner, and it really shows what it's like in a day on set of a showrunner, and it's exhausting.
The chicken sandwich sounds like it's good.
No, I'm sorry.
No, if anything, I'm getting a little jealous.
Hungry? Yeah, I figured you would get hungry.
But no, now you made me think of just another point with the writer strike. Do you feel like, or foresee, if you could predict it going like the same 100 days, maybe longer? A lot of major shows, and especially the more premiere stuff that people like binging or talking about, and podcasters and YouTubers rely on for content, are getting delayed. So
The writer's strike, just like everything with me, and the way I looked at stuff, is to my advantage.
how can we make it work for us?
Well, 1, reality television show. 2, we're not signatories. 3, we're not WGA members.
Right.
This is literally how we can go from zero to hero. And now is the time to be kicking out stuff. I mean, I don't want to get into that, but this other deal that we're working on,
Mm-hmm.
the things that I'm waiting for and you're waiting for, when they happen, if they happen and the strike is still going, I'm going to leverage those things to take us to outer space.
Right.
Like, that is a gift from heaven. Hello, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wearing a Batman shirt.
Nice.
One of the guys that works at Denny's just told me he liked my shirt. I said thank you. I have no... So to answer your question, the writer's strike, you keep saying 100 days. I thought it was a full year last time.
That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking it felt longer.
Yeah,
but I know it went past that. Has it been 100 days yet with this one?
No, not even close. It's been like not 30 maybe.
Like a month.
I don't even think it's been a month. I think it's been 2 weeks.
2-3 weeks, yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. 2 tree.
Right.
So the thing is that if SAG is jumping on this bandwagon too, because a buddy of mine that's a producer was nonstop talking about how his brother got $3 million to develop his AI company that is focusing on human framework AI, which is going to allow humans to be recreated or basically copied or synthesized digitally for all sorts of
It
entertainment
almost sounds
purposes.
like something from Westworld.
Well, not like that. Imagine digital avatars that represent you in cyberspace.
Okay, kind of like what they were trying to do with Facebook. What was it called? Meta, something like that.
Yeah, Meta. Facebook doesn't exist anymore. It's only Meta.
It's Meta now, right?
So I'm about to land at the bar, and I have my. know if they're going to allow me to bring my Mountain Dew in here.
Maybe if you spike it.
Well, that's the idea. It's actually mellow yellow. I was talking to my uncle about the house we lived in the South, and this is a fun story. So, my grandmother, being crazier than a, I don't know, $7 bill. That's just crazy. Who does that? She would say, so the movers unloaded a couch, and they were going to put a couch. Man, where would you like this? I don't know. You're the movers. Put it where you think it should go. And then they'd put it down, put it somewhere. She'd come back and yell at them and say, why the hell did you put it there? That doesn't make any sense. That's a dumb place to move it. And they're like, well, ma'am, tell us where you wanted to move it. I don't know. I'm not the movers. You should put it somewhere. And then they'd put it somewhere else, and she'd yell at them and say, that's a stupid place to put it, over and over and over again. And eventually, my grandfather comes home and says, hey, everybody, let's go out to eat. And they convince her to go out to eat. And then then my grandfather says to the movers, pulls the movers aside, says, just put everything in the garage. And for years, to this day, my grandmother, and now everybody else is dead, my grandfather's passed on, but everybody else is like, why did those crazy movers just dump everything in the garage? What's going on, man? All right, Michael, take the lead.
You kind of going in and out, Jeff.
Okay, I just walked into Carrie's, so I'm doing a podcast. So, yeah, they just opened. I'm the only guy in here. Smells good. Smells clean. So yeah,
you're kind of breaking up.
Is it bad? Okay, and we're back. Sorry about that. We had a technical issue. I'm at one of my favorite watering holes on the north side, Carrie's.
Oh, okay. You mentioned that before, that place.
Yep. There's two bars that I like on the north side quite a bit, and Carrie's is one of them. It's I've been coming here for years. They have the most comfortable chairs in the city, as far as I'm concerned, at a bar. It's just kind of a long room and really comfortable padded thick ass leather chairs that have giant backs in them, like you can lean back in the chair. So it's not a bar stool. And the bar is this classic old dark wood Chicago bar, and owner's been here forever, and started by Carrie a bunch of years ago, and it's just
got
really
that old
nice,
school
kind of dive bar, but they've got all these masks from different cultures all over the wall. The wall's just full of. You remember the doctor's office from the movie The Mask with Jim Carrey that had all these? It has the clear eyes guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the whole wall in here looks like.
Oh, that's kind of
so
cool, just for a throwback.
Yeah. But then at the far end, there's a pool table. There's one pool table, and then they've got this like beer garden outside. And a lot of times the owner will cook stuff, or he'll get Italian beef or whatever, and it'll be free, and you can just help yourself.
Man.
Yeah, it's a really, really good. It is the staple of, in my opinion, of what a Chicago bar should be like. And it's nice
Like that
because
embodies that spirit, that Chicago
yeah,
bar
this
spirit.
is a classic Chicago bar, and I hope it's here forever.
Yeah.
I hope it's here for 100 years. Like it's this is someplace that should never close. Yeah, and he just gave me a double shot of gin to put in my drink. So now I'm having Hillbilly Mellow Yellow, which is mellow yellow with white lightning in it, which is what I told him white gin, but I meant white lightning, but he doesn't have any of that.
Man, no, if anything, I'm kind of glad you taking this time out to indulge. Like me and you've been on edge and going back and
Oh,
forth with
dude.
things. It's nice that you can at least get a little fat, drink a little bit,
Yeah.
just be.
Yeah, let's unpack that for a second, actually. We're going to switch gears here a little bit, everybody, and talk about the writing mindset when things are not going well.
Right.
I'm not going to say that things aren't going well for me right now, but I'm in a pause. And it seems like we come back and we make these episodes when I'm on a downswing. And eventually, I'd like to get this show in particular on a more regular schedule, but this is kind of we do it when we want to do it show. And I seem to want to try to initiate that with you, which I don't care if you want to initiate it with me. Just, hey, can we do an episode? Like, I'm down.
Right.
Or I'll tell you, like, oh, I don't have time or whatever, and, you fortunately have time right now, too. I probably wanted to do 20 of these shows while you were at work.
Right.
And I think now it's just like, wait a minute, what's stopping us? When you're low, when things are rough, when things are bad, that's when you need to write the most. Make yourself create. And what I have found is that creating helps me write. And it doesn't matter what I'm creating. If I'm doing something, as long as I'm out creating stuff, it stimulates my brain because I know I need to be writing.
And it's nothing like that stimulation.
And there's nothing like what?
That stimulation when you just get inspired to write,
Yeah. I mean, you caught the bug the other day, and
Yeah.
How many pages you do you know?
No, not yet. I've just been actually just working on a treatment, just trying to develop like the whole idea behind it.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I think I have a weird feeling, like a tickling feeling in my stomach, that it's the things we're waiting to fall into place are on their way. Like the train has left the station and it's coming and it's going to arrive and it'll be our time and it's going to be very, very, very soon.
Just waiting for it to come up to our stop.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we're at the station and the issue now is to make sure that we have our bags packed correctly and we didn't leave anything at the house.
And I get it. The scripts are our suitcase. It's our luggage.
Yeah.
We're taking with us.
Yeah, they're the thing that we're going to take to the new location and say, hey, ta-da! That's our ta-da presentation stuff.
And I definitely agree with that, which is why that's besides doing this podcast, because I feel like we just, like you said, should have something to do and create. I've really just been like, what if, Jeff is right in the sense that at least just having a verifiable idea or something solid, that we're working on, and how we did the whiteboard the other day, so that when he does, and he will when he comes back, and we have that conversation where we're like, well, you know what? Let's just focus on the company and our work. We'll take submissions, but we'll focus on our projects and fund that. And then once he sees what we have on the slate, and like, man, these things are actually being developed, I feel like that could just take us to where we ultimately really want to go. Because it's nice doing other projects and, taking those submissions, but I think what you've been saying all along is really the main point that we should be doing is focusing on getting out our projects. Of course, with, leading the charge, his stuff will come first, but at least we'll be in that queue.
I 100% agree. I think that's great.
But no, that's mainly just my point, though, that Giving yourself something to do, create, and just like you said, being prepared. Not only creating, but being prepared to have something to show. So when that fateful question is always asked to you, what you got? What are you working on? Or what's your idea? And then you can say what it is. You're not making up shit off the top of your head.
Dude, there's a um, liquor sitting up on the shelf that's called While We Wait. And I just looked up. I've never seen it before in this bar.
You
And it's
should take a
sitting.
picture of it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that when we get off the show. But it's our initials, and it's for the show. And for me, it's like it's the worst time and the best time all at the same time, because it always takes you, because when you're busy, you're busy, things are cracking, you're in a good spot, like yeah, busy, stuff's going, a lot of potential, a lot of things, a lot of hustle, I'm busy, there's so much, and that's one kind of problem, and that's one set of problems. When you're not busy, that's the time at which you can fix stuff, you can streamline things, you can do infrastructure. When you're not busy, that's not a time to get depressed and stop.
Right.
That's a time to do other work. And as a writer, I tend to go through this cycle of, when the downtime happens, I'm depressed. I'm upset. I'm not working. I'm not frantic. I'm not, fuck, woe is me. Because the money is always an issue. I'm always worried about the money. Mary and I have been having these conversations. It is still an issue. And, Boss Brian put on the board at the office the number one in Chicago is barely enough to stay in the room in New York and LA. So being the best in Chicago is barely enough to get you in the room in New York and LA in our business, because of the general lack of producer sophistication and knowledge of the business of the industry. Talent-wise, if you have exceptional talent, you can get into the room anywhere and it doesn't matter. But as a producer, that is not the truth. Which brings me back to, when things are low, you write. You want to be a good producer? Write. The number one thing you can do to be a showrunner and get the ideas from your brain to the screen is write. Write and write and write and write. And then when you're done with that, write some more. You just have to keep doing it. And there is no, of the 98 projects that sit in my Celtics files, however many of them I've made, some of them are other people's projects, but I look at that and it's like, that's not enough. There needs to be 300 projects there. And, that's like, there's got to be almost this anxiety of, I'm not writing enough. And I'm talking about completed full length.
I know exactly I can concur on that.
Yeah.
If you could just have scripts, a stack of scripts, I'd be happy if I had 5 solid scripts. That would be like wealth to me.
Yeah, and so, okay, that's a great point. That would be like wealth to you. If you have 5 solid scripts, what are you going to do? I'm going to shop them around. Well, we're not in LA. How do we make it work? You go to Film Freeway and you submit them to every Oscar track screenwriting contest or BAFTA track or whatever, something that has prestigious award tracks or script writing contests. You submit to as many of them as you can afford, and you go work at the grocery store or you go work at the gas station, and that's what you put your money into. That literally is how writers break into the business. It's why these the film festivals are farming talent. That's their purpose. That's why they exist. They exist for the point of cultivating new talent and introducing it to the industry.
Wow.
They're the scouting. They're the talent scouts at Little League games. And the perception that happens with people that quote unquote get on big sets as PAs or as extras is that that is a path to getting to blowing up. Personally, if you have 150 scripts and they're completed and they're formatted correctly and they're like 6 out of 10 in terms of the quality, that is 1,000 times more valuable than if you were a PA and got yourself into the DGA. It's you are worth more to the industry with 150 scripts. You're worth way more. You're worth more with 50 scripts. You're worth more with 20 scripts. And it takes 700 something book day hours to get into the DGA. You have more value having spent that time writing. And that's one of the things that I've been trying to tell. This is one of the arguments Josh and I have had over the years is this part is a waste of time. And it took me years to realize it too. It's, I'm on big set. I have access. Look, I'm right next to the director. I'm right next to the producer. Those people don't, you know what they all ask you? Do you have a script?
Right.
And then the second thing they ask you, is it good? Okay,
what have you done with it? Right.
They just want to know if it's good. And you say, it's won 10 awards at this film. It's won 10 different awards at film festivals. I'll send you everything. I have a deck for it and I have a series Bible. If you said that to them, they would seriously consider making your project. Then the access on set counts for something. But having the access on set and standing next to, I worked on Shameless for years, and I stood next to Johnny O, I don't know how many times, and the access was completely worthless because I never had a good script.
So it's like, what's that access worth? Right.
Nothing. It's worth my paycheck. But that access isn't going to get me above the line if I don't have a good fucking script. So what do we do during the writer's strike? The simple answer is you do what you're always supposed to do. You fucking write.
Exactly.
I'm in a holding pattern as a producer because there's a bunch of stuff I can't touch because I've made such a big move that the level I'm about to go to, I gotta wait. And the money's gotta do what it's gonna do. And I have to figure out how to survive. I go back to being a production assistant. I don't give a shit because I know this next level's coming. In the meantime, what I need to do is try to survive. If I have to max out all my credit cards, I will, because I know what's coming, but I need to write. I have to write, you have to write, everybody in our team has to be writing their fucking brains out.
Exactly.
Oh, bro, we need to call a meeting tomorrow. The lightning has just struck my brain. We need to call a meeting tomorrow and say that to everybody. We need to be writing our brains out right now.
But no, this has been a good convo. I mean, I'm definitely ready for tomorrow's episode.
Yeah, I think like we're warmed up, and I can just put this as I can just cut up some of the content from this and then jump into something else.
Well, I don't know if I can make that reference, but I was going to joke that, this is a test shoot where nobody's going to poop on you.
Yeah. It's definitely, I have it as episode 3, but we can intercut some of this stuff if we want. Are you guys open?
Are we open now?
Yeah.
Oh, Bunny's here.
So everybody, Bunny is here, just so you know. The bar is kind of open, kind of not open. I'm here like right as they're doing stuff. But I've been coming here for so long, and I'm not a problem guest, so they let me come in and sit down. God, dude, maybe I just needed to go for a walk and have a gin.
Yeah.
My spirits are lifted, sir. I am.
Well, I'm glad I helped. If I did.
Well, you did, of course. Talking about this stuff and the show helps. Doing something helps because now I have something to edit. So what that did is that created work for me. So now I have something to do that isn't trying to navigate iTunes.
Yeah, what was with that?
It won't take for some reason, the RSS feed will not kick out the image. I have a north, south, east, west, like weather vane thing as the Walking with Writers temporary logo, and it won't take it. Like it won't. I have that up there, and for some reason, the RSS feed is not including that for one of the other episodes. So it's, I don't know. I don't know. I think I've got to make everything that, if I make all of the, oh, I just figured it out. I have the
Nice.
Sharkpunch Digital Labs logo as one of the images, and then I have the weather vane as the other image. So it doesn't know which image to use, because you can only have, I think, one image. So I'm just going to make everything the weather vane, and then that'll solve our problem. Yay. So we should have iTunes, and at some point we'll have iTunes and Google. And so this show will be everywhere, but this show has the least amount of artwork and sound design and everything else.
Right.
We got to figure out Cutlass and Pistol next week, man.
All right. Yeah.
I think I'm going to call it. We're at the hour mark, and I've got a 10-1. So
I think I'm going to go eat because you and that chicken sandwich inspired me.
I'm inspired by chicken sandwiches. At least it's not Harold's chicken, because then you would be angry. I know I would be angry. I don't want anybody to eat Harold's chicken. I mean, that's just aggravating.
Right.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much. We'll see you guys next time on Walking with Writers. We have a fun episode either tomorrow, and we're going to start doing a lot more of these. So at some point, there might even be a schedule.
Right.